Welcome to my first video tutorial, so you'll have to bear with me as I'm still learning how to use my camera and my editing software. So let's get started. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a special kind of gift card holder. It's really easy, so just play along. First of all, you're going to start with your card base. 11 by 4 1/4. Scored in half to create your card base. Give your crease a little press down. Then we're going to actually work on from the inside out. I'm going to start with, I have some cardstock pieces here that are cut at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 times 2. And we're going to open up our card. Alright, now, so you're going to basically center these panels. And don't worry about them being equal or have it framed at the bottom, because it's going to be hidden anyway. So you're going to do your bottom panel as well. So get them nice and centered. There we go. Then you're going to cut two pieces, 2 inches by 4 1/8. So 2 pieces like this. We're going to use the dark candy cane stripe side. And you're going to take both pieces and you're going to score them at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2 inches, and they're all equal. Okay. Then we're going to take your score tape, and I suggest something heavy duty for this. And we're actually going to adhere that just above that fold line, like such. Turn it off. And this is, you want to put your adhesive on the side of the pattern paper that you want showing up. So this is actually taped on the good side. Okay, so now I have 2. I've already done this one. Just going to reinforce my score lines here. Beautiful. And let's start making the inside of our gift card holder. First thing you're going to do, you're going to take your adhesive off and you're going to line it just slightly, ever so slightly above your score line and the center of your card. Now I have cut these to match my inside panels and not the width of my card, but you can do that, that's fine. So I'm going to press that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to actually fold this back in half, remove your tape, and carefully, oh so carefully, we're going to close our card, give it a press, and we've got one little box. See? Pretty cool. Alright, so now, before we attach our next one, because our gift card is actually going to sit in between the 2 boxes, be sandwiched in there, we need to put something in for the card to sit in. So what I've done is I've taken my We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board, and I've created a little mini gift card sized envelope. And that's what I've done here. Basically what I've done is I've cut off the top edge and closed it up, or at least had the bottom flap, and then punched a hole in it. So now we're going to basically fold and close everything. So I've already adhered my tape. So we're just going to close up our little flaps. Now of course if your gift card comes with an envelope, you're all set. Alright. Now, since my gift card is actually going to be sandwiched into the bottom of the fold. You don't necessarily have to have your envelope decorated to the very, very bottom. So I didn't really finish stamping off my image. But there we go. And for this little one, I actually used two of our newest stamps from Power Poppy. The first one being Heaven and Nature Sing. And I used this little holly. And I wanted to bring in another stamp set, so I brought in the brand new Bough Wow Wow, and I used the triple leafed holly. So, and let's adhere that in before we go any farther. I'm actually going to put the adhesive here instead of putting it on my envelope. So I'm just going to take my score pal tape here. My envelope is not the same width as our panel, so I'm just going to guesstimate here, give that a little press, and peel off our backing, and we're going to find the center point by eye here. And of course I put the good side of my, or the flat side of my envelope on the top, facing out. And then again, we're going to come up with another little box piece to hold it still. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that one edge, going to basically place it as much on the bottom and match it up in our little box here. And next we're going to peel off this. And carefully, I'm just going to do what we did before, fold it in half. And bear with me here as I try and get my fingers unstuck here. Just push that edge in, and I want to make sure this actually folds flat. Okay. There we go. We now have a little envelope sandwiched in our squares. Now, if you notice, this one is no longer a square. But you know what? Not a big deal. We'll leave it like that because it does actually fold flat. So, you know what? We win some, we lose some. It works. Alright. So, we now have our gift card holder, so you can slip your little treat for somebody special inside. Now, let's go back out and let's finish the front of our card. So, making sure that when you close it, this is the way you want to see it, or at least your recipient. This is the front. So, put this on the bottom and fold this down. So, this now is the front of your card. Okay, so I've actually made a card front, and this once again features our new stamp set by Power Poppy, Heaven and Nature Sing, and it's going to go right on the front. But before we actually attach that, we need to, instead of making a belly band, because they're such a pain to get on and off, especially when I have things like sequins and things like that, I don't really want to have something sliding on and off and over top these details. So instead of doing that, you're going to cut a band strip. So this one here is 1 inch by 3 3/8. And what we're going to do is, this is the paper that I want to show. And once again, this is the top of your card. And I'm going to put a little adhesive down the front here, and I'm just going to go by eye. And you know what? We're not going to go by eye. Let's do this the right way here. there's our halfway point. It's going to be buried that fold anyway. So right there. Let's put it towards, let's see, the bottom. That looks pretty centered. I need to hear that. And we're going to flip it over. Isn't that pretty? All right. Then we're going to wrap our pieces to the back. Now there's a gap. It's not a big deal because we're going to fix that. So these are actually Spellbinder cut. They're little teeny circles, and I've actually taken a craft knife and slit a hole in it so that I can drop in some little tiny button brads. And I believe, I hope I'm correct in this because I've had these for eons, that these are making memories. Brads. And I think I will pull up my piece of foam here so we're not punching into my table. And I think I'll just remove that brad for the moment. That looks good. Punch a hole and put my two items together. And of course you can cover the back of that with a little piece of decorative paper, whatever works for you. And to do the same for this side, we use our little circle as our guide, and what we're going to do is make an envelope closure instead of a belly band. So put in our last little brad. There we go. Move this out of our way. And I'm actually going to use, I'm going to use some hemp cord. And this stuff is, I love this stuff because you can actually curl it. Alright. So I generally just warm it up and get rid of all the creases if I can do that. And we don't actually need a really big piece. Let's go here because we can trim. Okay. So the next part is to make that closure. And this stuff is pretty easy. And we'll pull this through. I think we'll knot it and then I can trim it. So you're gonna you're wrapping it around the post, that brad. And we'll just get that off. Okay, so this is the back. And for your closure, you're just going to wrap it in a figure 8 around those posts to keep it closed because this card is bulky. Okay, so let's go back to finishing off the front. I'm going to leave our little wingy dingies open. I'm going to take our already colored piece here. I colored it with Copic markers. We have a little bit of shimmer and shine. We have some stickles, some sequins, and I used a Sakura glitter glaze pen and put on some adhesive here. And I'm a little bit of an adhesive freak, so I've always put on a little extra, especially if it's an interactive card or a card where somebody's going to be opening and closing it a number of times. So put that right over top that band, and see, it just becomes part of the card, and it actually reinforces that and keeps that closed. Now let's go back to the inside here. Press this, and our card fits in, of course, pretty flat. So we want to finish decorating this up a little bit, and I don't want to add any more bulk. Otherwise, I would put this little element on foam adhesive, but I'm not going to do that because my card's already thick enough as it is. So let's add some adhesive to that. Up at the top here, and just find a nice spot so our writing looks fairly level. Great. You can bend these back so they look a little bit more three-dimensional. But that's basically it. So it's really, really simple and easy. Basically, you're just making 2 squares. So you could actually build this bigger. And then, of course, I'm going to put a panel here where I can write my message to my recipient. So I hope you've enjoyed my card today. Once again, this is basically just an envelope closure. Make your figure 8, and I know your recipient will love their beautiful handmade card. Awesome. Thanks for joining me today at Power Poppy, and I hope you'll try this too. Thanks, guys.